teeth are full of Starburst.
I wanted to talk to you guys about knitting sweaters.
Dude, hold on. Are we recording or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what? I don't like that shirt. I mean, I like the American flag stuff, but I like the other ones that you usually wear.
The C-shirts, the
Yeah.
compound shirts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. And that's all I got to say.
I'm disappointed.
Why are you disappointed?
I don't know. I like the shirts. Thought it was a staple. But
I was wearing a shirt. I was wearing one of those shirts this morning, if that makes you feel any better.
a little bit.
Doesn't make you feel any better. I can tell.
No.
Chris,
your daughter-
congratulations.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, yeah.
I was just about to say, does your daughter appreciate those shirts?
She does. She hasn't really thrown up on them at all or anything like that. So we'll see. She had her first real blowout a couple nights ago where she does this thing where she kicks around and she kicked her own foot into her own shit.
Oh.
And so she was swinging her foot around like this, just like
Right in.
swung it right in there, and then you've got a real shitty diaper, and then you've got the feet just like with a foot full of shit.
Dude, it's not going to be the first time or the last time it happens. And then once she starts getting mobility of her hands, she's going to start reaching down there, and then she's going to get it on her hands.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited for that.
Yeah.
I did change a diaper in, like, no joke, about 20 seconds the other day. It was just a piss diaper, but, like, took it off, wiped her down with the water wipe, throw a little coconut oil there, threw the diaper back on.
Coconut oil.
Yeah, apparently if you put stuff on that, like, coats their butt, their vagina and stuff, then when they shit, it's, like, easier to
Yeah.
clean up.
Yeah. Now, if it dries, it's like tar.
Why don't you guys compare notes? Matt, what did you use the coconut oil?
No, but I'm maybe on the next one. Maybe I'll start doing that.
Seems like Chris already has a lead in parenting.
Yeah,
You must be
I
a-
just try to do things better.
You must be a better parent than me.
Yeah, that's
Already.
true. It's true.
Not surprised.
It's crazy being a dad, though.
Yeah.
It's very
So
tiring, dude.
week one being into it, is it what you thought it was going to be?
No.
No.
I mean, like, it's. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's, you know, like, you always hear people like, your life will never be the same, man. Like, you just don't know, like, the love that you feel. And it's like, yes, I love her. Like, I look at her, like, I'm holding her and just, like, look at her and she'll look at me. And then I'm like, oh, I've just been looking into this baby's eyes for 15 minutes straight. Like, I literally didn't know where the time went. But, like, it's not like overpouring of love. It's just all of a sudden you're just like, nope, like, I have to take care of this baby. Like, and everything else just becomes secondary to that. I don't know. You get that feeling?
Yeah, dude, I think it's because we're guys. I think it's different for females. And I might be wrong, but your feelings change as they get older, and they can start to communicate with you, and they are actually like. I mean, she's a human, but
yeah,
it's a lot different when they can't do much. You're literally just keeping this thing alive.
dude, that's it. She's just like, my baby farts. Like, she rips ass, dude. Today I was changing her, and while I was changing her, she started pissing, and then at the end she farted while she was peeing, so it shot the piss like. And these are the things that you just don't think about, and it's not even gross.
So are you changing the majority of the diapers right now?
Yeah. Well, no. Yes. Like, I say majority, but just barely
Oh, okay.
a majority.
Like 52% of the diapers.
52% is a good estimate. Did you change a lot of diapers at the beginning?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Well, dude, Jenny
Dude.
Jenny was breastfeeding, and dude, she just went through this whole ordeal carrying a baby for 9 months, went through labor, and it absolutely astonished at the things that she went through. So least I can do is take over the diaper changing a little bit.
That's kind of where I'm at with this too. Is like, it's just like, all right, well, I really can't do shit, and let me help where I can. Dude, I've been fucking cleaning dishes nonstop. Like, I don't know what the fuck happens, but there was 12 bottles today, and it took like, I don't know, it's like cleaning stuff for like an hour, and you're just in like a daze. I'm just like, okay, let me just clean things.
Well, I can answer that for you. It's because you've been home for a week, so you're just doing all your eating at home and cooking at home instead of going out and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said it's all bottles, though.
Well, no, it's
You can
that,
eat food.
and then
You don't have to
everything
drink the
else.
bottles, too.
What? Where else am I gonna get my food from? The milk's not just for the baby.
Wait, I can have normal
The metaverse.
Yeah, I drink my milk from the metaverse. So you want to tell us about this metaverse?
I'll do this. I'll explain to you guys what I think.
Please stop eating the Skittles.
I'll
Can
explain
you
to you guys.
chew a little bit closer into the microphone?
You told me this was going to be informal. I thought we were here to have fun. Let me eat my
you
Skittles.
were wrong.
My tea's too hot.
All right, so I'll tell you guys what I think, what I've learned about the metaverse in my 1 hour study session, and you guys can tell me what you think. I'm probably wrong about a lot of this.
Yeah, probably. It was empty.
All right, so
I'm sorry.
in 1992, Neil Stephenson wrote a book called Snow Crash. It's a sci-fi book, and he was the first person, apparently, to coin this term metaverse. So that's where the name allegedly comes from. And dude, that's loud. So the farther you go back, the louder it is.
Yeah, just bring that chewing in closer. I think that's what people are looking for, Mason.
I'm kind of looking for it. Well, with the headphones, you can really hear everything now.
So how's your tea?
Too hot.
You want me to blow on it for you? Cool it off?
Continue.
All right, tell us about the
1992.
metaverse.
All right, so he wrote this book and coined the term the metaverse, which is nuts. It's like any of these movies they make, and then it's like, oh, one day there will be, spaceships and we'll go to space, and then we ended up doing these things. So now this is kind of playing into that. But so Mark Zuckerberg came out recently and said, they rebranded Facebook and their line of whatever, their channels of social media, Meta, short for metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so the way that I understand this is that, yes, he coined it the metaverse, but there's a difference between like the metaverse and a metaverse. So a metaverse can be different, universes.
It's a noun, and it's like for Facebook, it's like a proper noun. It's like a specific thing.
Exactly.
Well, they just changed their thing to Meta.
Yeah, the company name, right?
Yeah, just the Meta. But the metaverse is going to be like the internet.
Exactly. Yeah. So I read this cool article, one of the best ones. I'll send you guys after this. I bookmarked it on my Internet Explorer.
Internet Explorer
or whatever. Safari. Internet.
My AOL account.
Yeah, I felt weird after it came out.
So I'll send you an AIM message, and we'll go from there.
All right, whatever. So the internet right now is flat, and then what metaverses do is they make it almost like a three-dimensional world.
Okay.
Which is like an easy way to look at it. So I came across this one a couple months back, and I didn't know what it was in Coinbase. And so there's a currency called Mana, M-A-N-A, which is the currency for another metaverse called Decentraland. And Decentraland, you guys play.
Okay.
Have you guys ever played RuneScape?
RuneScape or
Long time ago.
World of Warcraft or something like that.
Sure, yeah. So like imagine you take those games and you put them into like this world. That's what it is. But you could just, we can go on right now on the computer, make an account, and we can go on there and do stuff. But the craziest part about all this is that people are paying actual dollars to buy the mana to buy their things in that metaverse.
Yeah.
So then this is the part that dragged me into it. So there's Sotheby's. It's like a huge art
the
auction.
art collectors and stuff.
Yeah. I had never heard of them before this. So they bought a plot of a parcel of land on Decentraland for like millions of dollars So they have like their virtual store on there. And then, do you guys know what NFTs are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then
Kind of.
Yes, non-fungible tokens.
Yeah.
So it's like a work of art or a piece of clothing or something digital, and you own the rights to that. So they went and made like a gallery, and then they're charging people to buy their artwork essentially digitally, which is just absolutely nuts to me. And so in June, they sold, and I hope I read this right. They sold $11.8 million of CryptoPunk NFTs, real money.
So what's a CryptoPunk NFT?
A CryptoPunk is just like the line of art that they made.
Oh, okay.
It's they're like I think a lot of them were like monkeys, like doing different stuff.
Okay. Dude, it's crazy the stuff that like people are selling like NFTs and pieces of this stuff for like heavy dollars. And I think part of it too that I've read is like if you set it up a certain way, it's like each time that it gets sold, you get like a percentage of that sale. I think you can set it up that way.
Well, it's because it's like you would own the source code, if you will, right? So you have the original, but you can make copies of it and then sell those copies. But every time someone makes a copy of it, you're getting like a kickback of it.
Oh, it's copies?
I mean, you could technically make copies of it.
Oh,
but
okay.
you have the original source code.
Because I know one of the things that I saw that Kings of Leon is doing, the band, I saw that they were doing something where like you can buy an NFT and it was like starting out at a few $1,000s, but basically if you own this NFT, it's like a VIP pass. So you can get like early access to music, you get guaranteed tickets at concerts. So anybody that holds that pass, like if you sold it to somebody somewhere else, they would then get all like the benefits of that NFT. It's like it was like combining the digital world with the real world.
That's basically the metaverse is the combination of that. But ultimately, you ever seen Ready Player One?
Yeah, that's what it makes me think of.
That is what I would say Zuckerberg's vision is.
Yeah.
It's like that type of environment. But like, let's not forget Facebook right before this announcement is like going through some PR issues. But ultimately it's like a question of, not only now if you're fully embedded into this virtual or augmented reality, it's do you give a company like that access to your brainwaves or your ideal self?
Yeah, that's kind of the scary part about some of this stuff.
But I think the short-term things that a lot of places are going to try and do is take like a situation like this. Instead of us coming into the studio and doing this face-to-face, we could be in our houses, we put on some glasses, and then just as real as you to me look, like that's how it is.
Yeah.
Like I'm virtually in this room, but I'm actually physically sitting in my home office.
Yeah.
It's to the point where there's an 11-minute video on YouTube you can watch, and it's pretty much all like the highlights of what Zuckerberg said so far that it's going to be. And there's a couple parts with like the holograms where eventually they'll have like, there's a couple different names they were calling it, but eventually the holograms will be like, we can be sitting with each other and then you can look away and then you can be back in your house.
Yeah.
Where you can like switch it on and off, or you're taking notes and you're having a meeting with somebody across the world. It's
yeah. I mean,
like augmented reality.
Yeah.
And then virtual reality.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it raises a lot of like, I don't know. I'm probably not going to get it, although I am an investor in some stuff, but that's just to make some money.
Can you legally disclose who you're invested in?
I don't give a shit. NVIDIA is a big one.
Yeah, the chips.
Yeah. So, and yeah, I would say like Facebook, now Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, like Unity software, like Roblox is another one. Another kind of example that people give of the metaverse is like those Fortnite special events where they have the concerts and everyone's hanging out in the Fortnite world listening to a concert live. That say, I don't know, Taylor Swift's putting on or something like that. Like that would be considered the metaverse.
So like, how was it? Like when you went to Taylor Swift's concert
Oh,
in there?
I wish.
Did you have fun?
Couldn't afford it.
I didn't have enough mana.
But the other thing too is that, you have people that like the cryptocurrencies are probably going to be more popular and more valuable because that is kind of the reality or the world where those things would be, used more frequently.
Yeah. Well, dude, I think some of that stuff, it seems like it's possibly coming to the real world as well. Like I was talking
Still
to
too hot.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tea is too hot.
Hot tub's too hot.
Hot tub's too hot. I'm not going to come down here anymore. What's the matter? I'm sorry, guys. My parents just died a couple hours ago.
Who was
You ever
that?
seen that?
I don't know what this is
Galifianakis.
from.
This is Zach Galifianakis. So Tim and Eric did like Absolute Vodka commercial. So Absolute Vodka just gave them a bunch of money and said like literally make any commercial that you want. And then it's them two and Zach Galifianakis all sitting in like robes. And Zach Galifianakis has like a geisha hair or something. And they're just sitting in these chairs talking about how the hot tub is too hot. It doesn't do it justice, but
Yeah, definitely watch it.
it's
It's fine now.
Yeah, us
it's
talking.
legendary.
Oh, the tea's fine?
Yeah, it's
That was
fine now.
fast.
Oh, good. I'm so relieved. Thank God.
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
But so like I guess Ecuador or Panama or something like it's a country in South America like bought, I don't know, X amount of million or $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, and they're going to try to implement that as a national currency.
El Salvador.
El Salvador. Yep. And dude, I think people are pretty interested in that now, especially considering that nobody has any idea what's going on with real money right now. It's like there's probably like in total in maybe say the US, maybe the world, like that actually understands what's happening with all of money. There's maybe 1,000 people total.
Dude,
Like that truly understands what's going on. I have no fucking idea what's going on. Everything I say is a guess. And it's a bad guess too.
an important part I left out. If I could just...
Let's get back to the metaverse before I start.
I'm about to rant on that.
Cool.
but-
All right, let me just pop this in and then we can let Mason rant. So in Decentraland, this is the part that's just over the top for me. So one parcel of land on average, this is a couple months ago, cost $5,700 in real dollars.
What the fuck,
And
dude?
in the make believe
In
thing?
Decentraland, that's what you
Okay.
have to pay for a parcel of land. And this is the it just does it for me. You can get the land, you can build your house or whatever, and then you can rent that for real money for people to like have concerts in or put their artwork in for other people to come and buy that stuff.
That doesn't make sense. What does the land give you though?
There's a finite amount of land in Decentraland. So once it's gone, I don't think you can.
But doesn't that defeat the purpose though? If it's decentral land, wouldn't that mean it's like endless land?
No, Decentraland, I think, is that
Like,
it's
there's no-
decentralized, that the players own the land. So there's not one entity that owns
I
it.
get that. But couldn't you create more land?
I would think so.
You know, there's only 1,000 parcels. And you sell all 1,000 parcels.
Yeah,
You're like,
I need
Not
more
gonna-
parcels.
yeah.
This is why I stick to Roblox.
But that
Oh, they're a metaverse thing.
They are.
Yeah, did I say that already?
yeah,
You said that
Yeah, they're
investing something, but
Yeah, they're the one. They're one of the the companies to invest in. If you wanted to invest in the metaverse today, and you think it's going to be, this is going to happen no matter what, Roblox. I don't know how that is one of the companies that people are highlighting as like a company to invest in.
isn't it mostly kids that are on that?
I don't even.
I don't even know anything about Roblox.
I think
Or
it's like
pedophiles,
it's
too.
like a Minecraft.
But I think why they are is the same thing with like Fortnite, where they have their own like in-game currency.
Yeah.
Where like instead of me giving you $20, I can give you, I don't know,
400
400
Fortnite.
Robo
bucks.
yeah, or something like that. So it's like I mean, if I hired you to do some work for me, and I say, okay, what are you charging? I'll give you $100. And you're like, no, give me 50 Robobucks. Like, okay, I'll try and find some Robobucks for you. I don't know.
Let me ask my 8-year-old niece how I can buy some Robo-Bucks. No, it's interesting because it is that kind of Ready Player One feel to it. That's what I think of. That's what I kind of worry about, and I try not to be too dystopian. Yeah, go ahead and chew those Skittles right in the microphone, please. I try not to be too dystopian with it because like I don't want to be, and there's also like there's some cool stuff that you can do with it. It's just strange. It almost feels like there's two routes that people are going, is like going all digital or going like all natural.
I think what's end up going to happen with the metaverse stuff, and probably the same as Decentraland, is it's going to be the best things about social media and also the worst things about social media.
All just highlighted or like amplified.
Yeah, times it by 1,000. So like me being the history nerd that I am in the metaverse, I could create a reality where I'm in the Roman Senate or something like that.
You'd be Nero, dude.
No, screw you. But
threw him off his game.
Yeah, you threw me off big time. But then you could also have like the same kind of crap that's going on online, where people just argue with each other or yell people down and what have you. But if you want to like really piss people off, say this is your life, right? You spend hours on end in the metaverse or Decentraland doing whatever you want to do, and you're the person you want to be. Well, you know what? Another big popular thing that's happening a lot is ransomware attacks. Say someone hacks your avatar or whatever and says,
"Oh, that's true.
Give me $100,000 and I'll give it back."
Or they go, because part of this stuff too is there's certain things where it's like a push to get rid of anonymity online for a lot of this stuff. So it's like, what are crimes going to be? You know, like, are people going to view some of this stuff as crimes? And then if you got hacked, it's like, we saw your player 69 Fartbot 69420 was at the 7-Eleven robbing.
Well, I think what they're trying to do is like make it difficult for you to trace back the real person to their avatar. So you could be like, I don't know. I mean, who knows how lengths you can take it to, but you could be a complete asshole. Like, which, I mean, let's face it, like the internet is, some people just be assholes just to be assholes.
Yeah.
So you could be a huge asshole, and then, turns out this is like some pastor at a church or something, I don't.
Yeah, that's their outlet.
Yeah. But
I wonder if it, like using it's Oculus, right?
That would be one route, because Facebook owns Oculus.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do, is they're investing more in that, and that's why they're...
Because that's like the virtual 3D,
yeah,
augmented reality type stuff. I wonder if having like the goggles on and being in that world would make you... I've never used the VR goggles, but I would wonder if it would make you feel like not being such an asshole.
Maybe, but like,
or vice versa.
I don't know. So I'm speaking out of school on a lot of this stuff, but so my brother had these guys come in for his podcast and show off this software that they have, that they built like with using Oculus. And it's basically a way to teach kids how to do repairs on aircraft, but in VR. So you can go in, like, take your things, like pull out batteries, flip the switches, put the tags on stuff. It's pretty interesting. So people are starting to use it for like all these different ways that you can learn stuff. And like the point that they had, which was pretty spot on, was that you can't just buy a 747 or a certain kind of aircraft. Even a small aircraft is hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to teach people how to work on that. So there's ways that it's like just a practical tool, but I don't know, with that, it was like Wii characters. Like, that's what it looked like in terms of like the depth of the quality of it. So I don't know, like, but I hear there's like $10,000, $15,000 VR headsets that are like blow your mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's like any other technology that is being developed that we think is like, oh, this is never going to happen. It's all about how you use it. So like, take something like AI. Okay, maybe that is, beneficial because we can automate a lot of things. It could help us develop decisions faster. Like, regardless of how you feel about, take like the COVID vaccines. If AI didn't exist, those would not happen because, like, Moderna, for instance, has it's called like an AI factory where it can, outline development paths and come up with a solution way faster. And then the more data you feed it, the better solution it could come across.
Okay.
Now, take that if you had someone that wanted nefarious means.
Yeah.
It could be the same thing. It's a tool. It's how you use it.
Yeah.
So
that's the scary part about a lot of this stuff is, like, let's say everything's fine, but somebody comes across that wants to use it negatively, then you have like what could be a pretty disastrous situation. But that's literally with anything. So
yeah, but the thing is, though, why it's important to kind of understand it too is not just looking at what companies are going to be doing with this technology. There's, when we think back at like the Cold War, for instance, it was an arms race between us and the Soviet Union, right? Today, it's basically a tech race between us, China, and you can throw Russia in there. So it's whoever can come up with the better AI use cases, how to develop better machine learning algorithms, natural language processor, all these Internet of Things.
Yeah.
All this stuff is going to be like the economic leader, moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you going to say about cryptocurrency?
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
You said you were going to go. You said you were.
Oh, the currency thing. So it's the. I think when we say like inflation, right? It's there's too much money supply going on out there. It's really the supply chain. It's that the supply of everything has gone down, but the demand has stayed up. So it's driving prices up for everything.
But what about like the doubling of the currency?
I mean, I don't think that has as much of a factor on the inflation numbers as the supply. Like take the car situation. I mean, if there's a chip shortage, there's no chips to go in the new cars, so you don't have any new cars. So your supply stays exactly the same, but the demand hasn't gone down at all. So if people are still demanding, like you have 10 people that want cars, but you only have one car, you then get in a situation, well, I'll pay $100 more. No, I'll pay $200 more.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, even more when it's your supply is diminishing quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not even taking effect if the supply is going down. That's if it just stays the same. But it's everything, and I mean...
That's a good point. I never thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, but this is like... what's the term? Like... Coming home to roost, the chickens coming home to roost, something like that.
Yeah.
This is from like 40 years ago of decisions that were made, starting with, I mean, even in the last 20 years, I think there's been like over 60,000 manufacturing like plants like shipped overseas. We don't really make anything here.
Yeah, you're right. And people have been talking about it forever. There's so much stuff being made in China. Eventually, this is going to catch up with us. Yeah.
I mean, but if you look at like, so if China makes, let's say it's probably more, but let's say they make 50% of everything for the world. But now they're becoming a leader in technology. And we already know that they're stealing intellectual property.
Sure.
Which, didn't I send you a picture of that? It's like I think the FBI estimated that it costs the United States $500 billion a year in intellectual property thefts from China.
Really?
Yeah. So it's take our most valuable companies, like American companies, if they even consider themselves American, like let's take Apple. If China somehow got all the information for the iPhone, like their top product or whatever the top product is.
Sure.
And then they make the exact same thing, but they call it the
Y-phone.
The Y-phone. But hey, the iPhone costs you like $1,000. We're only going to charge you $700.
Yeah,
and they already make it over there too. So when they would control every stage of the product life cycle, then they could control the market, undercut everything.
Yeah. Plus, if you've got nothing to stop that either, if that's promoted too, then it is what it is. You kind of can run wild with that.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also like they're not our friend, like from like a country standpoint. So I think like, maybe the moving forward should be, let's get out of there. Like work with the companies that are here that have like, take Nike or something, like, hey, we'll subsidize, like basically what we're doing with Intel right now for the microchip. The US government gave them like $60 billion to make factories in Arizona for microchips.
Really?
Yeah.
When was that?
Like 7 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they don't talk about it because, I don't know. It's a whole nother thing. But yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. I feel like it would be, I don't know, maybe I'm like naive on this stuff, but I feel like it would make sense to bring at least a decent chunk of stuff back into the US. I mean, you have so many, like we used to have stuff here and then we outsourced a lot because costs and then like pollution and things like that. But I mean, if you were to bring factories back here now after 20, 30, 40 years, like the emission stuff, they would have under way more control. Like they would do a way better job with that here.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also the just like what is critical for people's survival. Like if every single say antibiotic or penicillin is made in, let's not even just say China, but Southeast Asia. Let's say that. What happens when their supply system gets disrupted, or there's no the ports get closed over there,
or over here?
Yeah. So it's just like, you don't have life-saving antibiotics that realistically, how expensive are those to make in a factory here? I just kind of look at it. It's like, you can't sacrifice, I guess, like the security and peace of mind for very cheap labor costs. Because right now it is costing us.
But that's the incentive structure, is like that's what it was, It was outsource that, bring these costs down. We'll just send it over there. It's whatever. I mean, that was the thought process that got us into this. It was like, it almost seemed like a convergence of two things. It was like, make this stuff more expensive for these companies. Like that was like one group's push. And then the other groups, as the companies, were like, let's keep the cost down and keep moving.
Well,
that's what it seems like to me.
It's kind of funny that like capitalism drove most companies to do business with like a communist.
I would say it's more globalism then.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is capitalism, but now I think that we're kind of in like a crony capitalism.
Well, it's been a race to the bottom. The material that people are using become, less and less quality. And
well, yeah. It's like, okay, so you outsource it, it gets shipped overseas. It's a shitty product anyways.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not, I mean, yeah, a lot of stuff is probably cheaper, but at the same time, like, you had that My Shower guy on here.
Yeah.
I had them do my shower just because they make everything here.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather pay an extra whatever it costs, like $200.
Yeah.
To do it here. Like, and it's also like, I mean, and for what? Like, okay, let's take Walmart or Amazon. They pay their employees shit. Like, okay, so for just now, wages have just now started going up because workers are basically saying, I'm not working this crappy job anymore for the most part.
Yeah.
At the bottom rung, like, let's say that. But it's also like, I'm sorry, Walmart and McDonald's are probably two of the most profitable companies in history. They have plenty of money to pay people more than $7 an hour. And it's like, I don't know. You get what you pay for, I think, also.
yeah.
But
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. So why do you think crony capitalism? Like, why is that?
I think companies are more beholden to shareholders and Wall Street than anything else. So here's a perfect example. So I'm not going to name names, but there's a company I know off the top of my head. Let's say that their revenue for this year, our net profit, let's say that $10 billion for the entire year, 2021. Profit after taxes, employees, everything at all. And they spent $2 of that $1 billion in stock buybacks. So what that basically is if you have 100 shares that people can buy on the, New York Stock Exchange, and they eliminated 15 of those shares. So it's kind of like the supply and demand. You eliminate the supply, the value of those shares go up. So in theory, when they pass these tax cuts on these companies, like by the government, they're supposed to be using that money to reinvest in their products, in research and development, in innovation, in their employees, to give them better benefits, to give them higher wages, things like that. Well, when you take, let's say out of that $10 billion they made, when you take $2 billion of it and do a stock buyback, all that doing is you're making your shareholders richer.
Yeah.
So that like it'd be a 20% increase in the share price. So if you have $100 worth of $100 per share, it's now $120. And let's say that company has 40 million shares and you own 20 million. That's how like a guy like let's say Jeff Bezos is like whatever. That's how he's worth that much money. It's from the shares he owns of Amazon.
See, like that, it doesn't.
But
okay,
let me finish this really fast. I'm sorry.
Sure.
But then you have, with this whole Great Resignation thing, you have employees at that same company that might be like, "Hey, I've been working hard, blah blah blah. I'm way more productive. Can I get a pay increase?" Oh no, it's not in the budget.
What fucking budget?
So then it's like. Then because these are publicly traded companies, they have to release, kind of what they're doing and stuff. If you saw that, you'd be like, well, you know what? This recruiter just called me and saying that if I get this job, my comp is going to go up 25%. I'm going to call her back.
Yeah.
But the problem is you have, company A, that first company I give is now like, why is everyone leaving? So it's then it's stupid that they're the incentive structure for a lot of these, I would say these mega corporations that realistically get subsidized a lot by the federal government in a lot of ways are like they're like shocked that people are like, you know what, if I die tomorrow you guys wouldn't care. Like, I'm going to go do what I want to do, or I'm going to make as much money as I can.
Well, dude, that's what I'm talking. So that's what I'm talking about. It's jobs. It's the economic system. It's all of these things. It's tax breaks for these companies. Like all this kind of stuff is like people are starting to say like, why am I a part of this? Like, why am I doing this? Why am I working super hard? I was told for a long time that this is how I'm going to be able to make money. This is how I'm going to be able to support my family, do all this stuff. And then like, all right, they're doing well. Like, I want to be a part of that. No. Well, then I'm going to do my own thing, or I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Especially with like a publicly traded company. And I don't know because I haven't done much research on this, but you can go and pull up what their profitability is and their revenue and everything from that year, right? So I could see a lot of people, if I was one of them, looking at, oh wow, they made this many of millions or billions of dollars, and this is my cut. And if you're an integral part of the business, then you should.
Well, it's
well, people are also saying like, why would I keep going? Like, why keep going up this? What is going to be at the other side of this? Like, I'm going to work my ass off for what?
Well, and here's the other thing though, too. It's where it shows where their values lie, I think, with a lot of places like that. They're more beholden to Wall Street, the shareholders, than they are to their own employees. And there are faults to like say stakeholder capitalism. Like there's faults with any kind of theory or mentality, but I think a lot of people are getting frustrated because I'm busting my ass for all this, and then what do I have to show for it? Or when shit does hit the fan like it did in the beginning of COVID, the first thing that a lot of places cut were employee benefits.
Yeah.
Well, not even before people, it was, hey, we're not doing your little 401k match, which is like, let's say it's 4%.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing that. And we're not doing like tuition reimbursement. So it's a lot of the employee packages, that maybe were a reason why you went there is what got cut.
Yeah.
But
that's a good point. Well, I think I think all of this stuff showed how uncertain everything is. I think that's what made people start looking at this of like, why would I keep moving up if all of this can just be taken away?
You know what I feel? It almost shows how fragile everything really is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, COVID wasn't a small change by any means, but it disrupted so many different things that it's like the dominoes are so close to falling in so many different places.
I think it just accelerated it. I think it, like, if you look back in like 2015, and this is like I'm fiercely like independent on the political spectrum, but you have to ask the question, how does someone like Donald Trump get elected in the first place? Because he's nowhere, he's his own little force. He's not really a Republican. He's not a Democrat, but he's his own guy. But if you listen to some of the stuff he's talking to, like some of these places where these factories left, I mean, and I feel like this sometimes when I listen to these earnings released by some of these companies, is that people want to feel like the game is fair. But the way it is really set up is that you have like some hedge fund manager has a 50-point lead on you and you're playing basketball. And what you have to ask like people like, okay, what are some real reasons that Trump got elected in the first place? Because it's not magically that everyone became racist all of a sudden when the black guy won 2 elections in a row. But it's that I think a lot of people are looking like, you know what? You guys didn't stop anyone from shipping my middle-class job overseas. I had to start completely over. I lost my pension. I lost my blah, blah, blah. Now I'm working, making $20,000 less a year, doing bullshit. I don't know. And those jobs are never coming back. So,
yeah,
I think that's what it is, but it's also like if you are like, and actually Facebook got in trouble with this too. So say you're a coder, right? Where you're doing, hey, you know what? Information technology is the future. I went to go work at Facebook. I'm making, I don't know, $100K a year. Well, because it's a global company, they could maybe take, okay, we have a coder out in India who will work for $35,000 a year. Guess what, 100K coder in the United States? You're out of here.
See ya.
We're actually going to hire 3 guys in India for $35,000 each. And then I actually turned down a job offer because this company told me this stuff. And
really?
Oh yeah, it pissed me off. So I was in the middle of an interview, and the Great Resignation thing got brought up, and I asked like, what do you think some of the attrition are? And he says, we went public like a year ago, and we outsourced about 2,000 jobs. And I was like, okay. And then like after the interview, they reached out to me, they gave me like an offer and everything, and I was like. It was like Friday when they gave me the offer. Then I slept on it. Monday morning, I said, I'm actually going to decline, and because of this reason.
Really?
I said, I was like, I don't agree with the outsourcing of American jobs, like for whatever reason, just so you can appease shareholders. Like, I think it's kind of stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, dude. Well, what's kind of interesting? Good for you, Mason.
I know.
Good for you, patriot.
But and not to sound like a freaking Bernie Sanders socialist kind of guy, but like there's like crazy reports out there where like 90% of all shares are owned by like the top 10%.
Yeah, dude. Dude, so like that's what this is what drives me nuts with this fucking COVID shit is like, and nobody thinks clearly about it. Is like everybody that is like, we should keep everything shut down. You don't know how bad it is. It's really bad out there, but I still need those. I still need those cups from Amazon. I mean, my daughter's onesies. You know, they're not just going to ship themselves. Somebody's got to do it. But you're the same people that fucking hate big business, and you also wanted to keep all the small businesses closed during this time. So you just like even further destroyed the fucking middle class of America. All those people running their own businesses that were working with big companies that made this stuff possible. Now you just remove that middleman, and now you just have companies that get bigger and bigger and bigger during this time. But that's where I think the crony capitalism stuff comes in, because and maybe it's because I'm naive about how taxes actually work and all this stuff, but you have all these politicians that say tax the rich, do all this stuff, tax. We want to take all this stuff. We even want to tax unearned futures and stuff. But like, it almost would make sense to me if you literally had like a flat tax across all of this stuff. Like, let's say your corporation, you pay 10% or 15% of all profits, whatever it might be, or earnings, whatever it might be, like, or revenue, however you want to do it, so people can't like siphon shit out, but keep it like as simple as possible. Because what happens is, in my mind, is that when these people say tax the rich, you got to tax all these companies, blah blah blah, dude, those companies have entire legal teams that and tax teams that know how to look at this stuff, find ways, find loopholes, all this stuff. That's how you hear these big corporations pay $0 in taxes, all that shit. If you guys keep raising those taxes, how are they paying nothing? Because they're getting around it, and then everybody else that's left that doesn't have an entire legal team or tax team to go out and find all those loopholes, your taxes just go up. Like,
well, actually, the rich just got a big tax break again in this latest Biden bill. So,
yeah, then maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
What is this? This is the $1 trillion.
Yeah,
it's like 2,500 pages long.
So if nothing else changes, probably what's going to happen is the Republicans are going to overwhelmingly take over the House of Representatives because of just the approval ratings. A lot of people think, like, you could argue that things are worse than they were under Trump and under the COVID, like things that are happening in COVID, like in other states, like the cases are worse than ever. Inflation's way up. It doesn't seem like anything's being done to alleviate some of these supply chain issues. And the guy's not there, basically. But if you look at the I think it's like 1.2 trillion. Originally, it was supposed to be like 3 trillion.
Yeah, the bill.
Yeah, but so you have, like, with the Democrats, you have some weird camps, right? You have like the progressives, like the Squad, like the AOCs, who basically just showed that they were, don't have any political leverage at all with this bill. But then you have the corporate Democrats. These are like the Nancy Pelosi's, right? Well, if you notice with these corporate Democrats, they basically replaced, I would say, the Republicans of like the early 2000s as representing big business. So Nancy Pelosi is from San Francisco. What's in San Francisco? Silicon Valley.
Big tech.
Yeah. So one of the things that they passed was like, it's like a SALT tax relief. So that's state and local taxes. So basically, if you pay state and local taxes, which the highest tax rate I think is in California, big tech,
sure,
you can now write it off on your taxes. So it basically eliminates like something like, I think they're estimating like this is like $500 billion it's going to amount to, because the people that could write that off are like
mega companies.
If you make it's individuals. So if you make like 500K or more a year, it's like that really benefits you. So I mean, everyone can do it, but it basically raised the limit of that what you could write off, say from $10,000 to like $80,000.
So wait, so then so she gave tax breaks to...
That was in the bill. That was in this bill, because some of these corporate Democrats were basically saying, if this is not in the bill, we're not voting for it. But all the stuff that they cut out of this bill, for the most part, is the stuff that progressives really wanted, and that were like popular campaign trail promises, such as like the free community college, universal pre-K, I don't know, more the social infrastructure stuff.
And that stuff was cut out.
That was the stuff that was cut out. They did do something with the universal pre-K, but if you look at it, it's like,
it's like a shell of what it.
Yeah, I mean it's basically like, instead of getting $3, they gave them $1, but it's also the progressives too, because it's not like they don't have a huge margin in the House. I think they have like 12 seats or something, maybe 10 seats, but the progressives make up like, I think like 20, right? So if they would have been a voting block and be like, we're not going to vote for this unless our stuff is back in this bill.
That makes sense.
That's basically like what happened is you had these different little blocks that have, different little people that they represent.
It's political party inside a political party.
Yeah, but what you're starting to see though is that, okay, maybe someone like AOC actually does care about like average people, but you have these corporate Democrats who really only care about the donor class, because, it's like...
That's where the re-election comes from.
Yeah, that's where all their money comes from. But it's like this. Like, if you're a business and you do consulting work, and one client pays you $100,000, another client pays you $5,000, who is going to get more of your attention and more of your, who are you going to go the extra mile for?
Sure, 100,000.
Unfortunately, it's like that in politics too.
It just seems so unfair.
But it goes back to what I was saying is like, if people think that if we're all on the same field playing the exact same game, people are, I would say that they would be happier with the results. But it kind of goes back to what I was saying. There's like, how does someone like Trump get elected in the first place? It's kind of like shit like this when you see what happens, where you're like, okay, don't feed me this bullshit, and then like, I'm not going to vote for you guys again. You're going to turn to alternatives, because you might be like, you know what? I don't like that guy, but this, crazy commie over here says he can get rid of my student loans. Might as well vote for him. He might be able to do something for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
You know what opened my eyes to some of this stuff? And thank God there are people like you in this world, dude, because if it was people like me, man, everything would just go right over me and people would take over the world with no problem at all. But like, have you seen the show House of Cards?
Yeah.
How much stuff goes on? And I'm sure that, not everything like that happens, but it opens you to the idea that there's a ton of stuff going on behind the scenes like that
well,
a lot of people that are, uninformed like myself wouldn't even realize would be happening.
I mean, and that's the tricky part when you get into like a system like this, like a republic. People like say democracy. It's not a democracy, but like if you take it back in time, right? Like the Civil War, you could argue that's probably like one of the most pivotal moments in this country's history. But I mean, they don't really do a lot of details like that. You almost need a class to understand what actually led up to it, because it was from like literally the Constitutional Convention to the Civil War. There was issues that led up to that, but not to draw like a correlation or anything. But in the South, right before the Civil War, like there's like, let's say there's 12 million people and 4 million of them are slaves. Well, out of 4 million of those slaves, 300,000 people own slaves. Out of those 300,000, maybe 5,000 of them own 90% of the slaves. Well, just so happens those 5,000 basically wield the biggest political power in all those states.
I didn't know that.
I mean, it's like the Pareto distribution. It's the 80-20 principle. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, but that's slightly different though, because I mean, from like a productivity level, the North was way more productive.
No, it's more about like the way that things accumulate in that. So like a small percentage of people,
20% of people own 80% of whatever that would be.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's basically what it is. But if you, I mean, like, you know, it ultimately, like, slavery was the key issue. But if you have those guys who wield such political influence, yeah, it does make a difference when, so, you know, you had the whole West being developed and, you know, states entering statehood to join the Union. It does make a difference whether or not it's going to be a slave state. Whereas the average Joe white guy in Alabama who doesn't own slaves, who's poor as shit living off the land, probably doesn't give a crap about that. So then you get into these like culture war things. It's like, oh, if they free the slaves, you're going to lose your job. You know, it's like, oh crap, I don't.
And then
want
you
that.
get people bought into certain things that maybe go against their ethical backgrounds, and before you know it,
yeah. But I mean,
wow,
yeah. So, I mean, it's crap like that, and then,
dude, this is kind of off topic. Not off topic, but I'm gonna jump back a little bit. It takes me a few seconds to process things. I just process this. So, like, I think, like, imagine you're Jeff Bezos, right? Like, right now, you start selling books out of your garage, and all of a sudden, you know, over a course of however many years he is, and to the point now, would you even realize that, like, the decisions that you're making are contributing to all these people's lives? I mean, I know he knows, but like, it's like one step. Like, if you would have if you would have said, yeah, dude, you're going to be one of the richest people in the world, and you're going to be paying these taxes, and you're going to be responsible for these people's incomes and their families and these things. I just don't think that it's a thought that maybe you get to that spot and you're not thinking about all these things that you're impacting.
You probably.
You know
I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying?
I don't think there's a way that you could know that kind of impact that you would have. I think even if you are Jeff Bezos and you have all this information coming to you, it's probably still almost impossible to understand the impact that you're having on people's day-to-day lives.
well, if you, I think the only thing he might have thought about, and I haven't read too much about him, but like, there's like case studies or stories that people talk about, it's the culture that they kind of developed at Amazon, and that's why they're at, like, when you think about Amazon, you think of like, okay, I'm gonna buy on my app and it's gonna get here tomorrow.
Yeah.
But really, they're big money makers, Amazon Web Services. Like, I mean, it's not their big money maker, but that's going to be their future. That's going to make all their money.
Yeah. I'm just trying to tie this back into, like, with how politics is, and you get these people that are, you know, bucking the system off of, you know, 20% of the people have 80% of the power in this situation.
Yeah.
And it's like slowly increased over time, and all of a sudden it's like, we're doing these things, but are we really supposed to be, like,
I think
it doesn't seem very ethical.
I think that one might be a bad example though, because I think that they just developed a better product.
Yeah.
I think something like maybe Walmart, like I haven't stepped foot in Walmart in, like, I don't know, 10 years. Like, that place sucks to me. Like, in like, you know, last time I was there, it's like shit service, you know, whatever.
Oh yeah, it always
So
This episode is sponsored by Walmart. Come on in and get your smiles on, baby.
but I mean, you could.
Chris has been waiting to use that all episode.
I couldn't wait.
But if you look at the 10 richest people in this country, 4 of them are from the Walton family, or I think, at least last time I saw this stuff.
They're up there.
Yeah,
they
they're
might
up
be
there.
in the
But
top 20.
They're all heirs.
Hey, let's not. I want to ask you guys about this water thing too, but keep going.
But they literally would go into, like, you know, take a, like, you know, you see these dollar stores all over the place.
Yeah.
Dollar Trees or whatever.
Which I don't understand at all.
Well, it's because they can go into a really small town and say, it's the same. Fort Myers does this too. Lee County does this. So take
Dollar General's all over the place.
well, take a big company like Hertz, for instance.
Yeah.
They might give them like, hey, you guys build your offices here. You're gonna how many employees do you think you're gonna employ? Oh, we're gonna employ 1,000 people in this office. Okay,
10% of them are going to use the Dollar General.
well, we're gonna give you like as from like the local county might say, hey, on your property taxes, we're gonna knock off like 3% off there because you're employing X amount of people, and those 1,000 peoples then buy homes. It makes up for it. So there's like weird incentives when it comes to that, but it's like when you get a company like Walmart that comes in and says we don't want to pay property taxes at all, or I think even Amazon did this with some when they're they're deciding on like their like a local office and region. Like I think there's a story like AOC like ruined them
in New York
because she said like we're gonna raise taxes on them if they come here, and she's like, all right, well this is gonna provide like 5,000 jobs, so I guess you don't want more jobs in your district.
I think that's why they went to Virginia instead.
Or
quid pro quo.
Yeah, but like you also
I don't
have
know what that means.
This for that.
you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Continue.
But like you have
Scratch my little back.
but if you have like take like Bezos also owns like the Washington Post,
Yeah.
which I mean,
Didn't know that.
yeah, if you have traditional media, probably like the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, New York Times are like, some of the big things.
Yeah.
It's not like the Washington Post is going to publish a story about
What do you...
Nothing.
negative about Bezos.
Yeah.
You laughing at his voice thing?
I was, but I was just laughing, dude.
Are you laughing at my voice?
Sorry, Mason. I feel like I interrupted you. Continue.
Yeah, please go on.
I'm done with that rant.
Can you tell us about the water thing? Do you know about this?
Yeah, you were saying something
With the Walmart or Walton family. Fuck it, I'm getting in on this candy.
You were talking. I don't think we were doing.
You
a
sent a
podcast.
video. I think it's from Crystal and Sagar. Let's chew right. Hey, so I just want to. We're going the ASMR route with this podcast, real quick.
Sponsored by.
Sponsored by Skittles.
What's ASMR?
It's that like voice shit where it's like you listen and it's like somebody kind of whispers and then like people like it's like the texture of your voice or something.
You guys ever see those mukbang videos?
What?
Mukbang.
The fuck is that?
Like people eat a
Chew into the mic a little closer.
people eat a
Mukbang.
exorbitant amount of food.
Is this one of those like fat fetish things?
No, I don't. Maybe it is, but
I don't know what this is.
it's like
All right. Let's stop chewing in these fucking microphones.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, please. It's annoying.
Anyway,
You're ruining it for the audience.
Yeah, Matthew.
What's a mukbang?
Sorry. it's like a popular Asian culture thing. People get like an exorbitant amount of food and they eat it. It just reminded me because it's kind of along the lines of this AMSR. It's a weird.
For the sumo community?
No, it's like
I knew a sumo wrestler.
What?
Yeah.
really.
You knew
College.
a
He
sumo?
was world champion. His name was Soslan.
Really?
Yeah, he's from Russia.
What was his name?
Soslan.
Soslan.
Wow.
Wow.
He's a
He
world
was
champion.
a Russian sumo wrestler?
Yeah, he went to Japan. He was a sumo wrestler. He got banned for life for smoking weed.
From Japan?
Yeah,
From
I don't-
Russia? From sumo wrestling?
He's born in Russia.
What was he banned from?
The weed?
The weed?
He was banned from sumo, the sport, in Japan for smoking weed.
You know what it sounded like when you got banned? Because he was high, and then he's like,
Oh, you can't come back here and do no sumo no more.
is that what he said it sounded like?
You got a button on there that makes it high pitched too?
Yeah, I have to change it, but I think so.
That'd be cool.
This guy was big as hell, man.
Like, yeah, like
You're
could
too fat. Get out of here.
you could tell
That
he
was more
a
like
sumo
Arnold
wrestler.
Schwarzenegger.
I mean, he was like muscular, but he was I mean, I forget what his sumo name was, but yeah, he has a picture and everything.
Yeah,
Like,
did
he had like the hairdo and all
Really?
that. Yeah,
Like the bun thing?
yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
Have you guys ever seen that Russian guy? I think they call him like the Russian Bear or something like that. He was like a wrestler. Dude, there's something of
He's
him
like breaking people's arms and stuff.
yeah, like him like slam people. I think he would like the way he would work out was like carrying fridges upstairs or throwing fridges or something like that.
I have no idea.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Matt?
Yeah, I want to show Mason a picture of him because this dude's like an absolute maniac.
He's like a beast, but they call him like the Russian Bear. Some wrestler.
This is one of the pictures.
I've never seen that human.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
This is like it's a famous
What's his
picture.
name?
Alexander. spelled with a K where the X should be and an R with no E at the end. Oh, it's Alexander the Experiment Carolyn, aka the Russian Bear.
Interesting.
Yeah. How did you meet the sumo wrestler?
He came to football, or he came to the United States to learn how to play football.
Really?
Yeah, and he came up to me during practice. He English wasn't very good for him at the time. He's just like, Mr. Kickman. That was the kicker.
You kick, you little pussy.
He's like, Mr. Kickman, how you doing today? Then he'd be like, just be like, Mason, I'm very sad today. Why? What's going on? He's like, I lost my puppy.
I was sad.
Yeah. He'd just be like telling some like he would just talk like very like random. He's like, Mason, what does bodyguard mean? Does that mean you kill people? I'm like, no, it means you prevent that. He's like, oh, Tupac not have good bodyguard. What are you talking about? But yeah, he's
It's those Russian insights.
an interesting human.
Dude.
He was a nice guy, but yeah.
Speaking of Russians, let me just hop back on this Alexander guy. His wrestling record, 887 wins and 2 losses, both by a single point.
It's a lot of wrestling matches.
Holy shit.
Dude, maniac.
That's nuts. Dude, I met a Russian guy one time. I went to this like leadership thing in Washington, D.C. when I was in like 8th grade or something. I met this guy, I guess kid. He seemed like a guy. He was from South Central.
The Russians, when they're born, they're automatically adults.
He was definitely seemed more of an adult than me. And like he had a cut on his face like this. And I was like, what's that from? He's like, I got fucking slashed in the face. I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, nah, dude, like that's how my school is. He's like, I got shot at school one time. And I was like, are you fucking serious? He's like, yeah, it wasn't too bad, but I was crying like a little bitch. I was like, dude, you got shot. And he's like, yeah, it's all good. He was like, I don't know. He literally was from like Compton.
Where'd you meet him?
At this like leadership summit in Washington, D.C. He's from Compton. I remember him because
He's a Russian?
yeah, his name was like Kirill or something. And I remember his brother died like the last night that we were there. Like he got a phone call and like his brother died.
Took a dark turn.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's depressing.
Yeah, I was trying to like hook up with this girl there, and then his brother died, and just kind of
Oh my God, Chris.
put a damper on things.
I would say so.
Well, I didn't. I gave that up because of the situation, but
So you're asking me about water?
Yeah.
You had said something about water being sourced by Walmart. There's some kind of monopoly that they have going on in like a river or something. They own a body of water.
Yeah,
that-
some-
I didn't
with-
talk about that.
you sent us a video. It's like the Walton family trying to.
Don't you lie to me.
You don't remember that video?
No.
Ready? Get ready with the beep. Don't you lie to me.
Fucking piece of shit. Fucking
messed up.
asshole. Fucking ass piece of shit.
No, that it's the so
All right, so tell us about the fucking shit.
Dude, the beep gets me. The censor.
I'm
love
fucking
it.
4 years old. I'll never stop being 13 years old.
Never grow up, Chris.
It's probably physically impossible at this point.
So
My brain don't work no good.
Chris got this entire setup just so he could do a deep voice and bleep unnecessary cuss
I
words.
saw this guy. His name on Instagram. It's Poddex, and he did this whole like fucking thing on this, and I was like, all right, it's another one of the roadcasters, whatever. And then he like was like, and then you could do this. It's like, I got to figure out a way to buy this thing.
Buy now, Amazon.
Buy now. Anyway, tell us about this water stuff.
Yeah.
You fucking piece of shit.
so basically there's one river that supplies all of, like the southwest United States to their water.
What river is it?
The Colorado River.
That's a pretty big river.
Oh yeah, so it's like you got to think it's Colorado, Arizona, like New Mexico, Utah, and like South California.
And so the Waldens own the river?
No, it's
Or
basically
the rights?
yeah. You got to think.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
So
sorry.
if the river
So
runs
they
for,
own this river, the Colorado River.
All right.
They own it.
The rights though, they're
all right. Let me put it in a way that's
So
So
easy.
you're right.
Let me put it in a way that's easier to understand. You know the Mississippi River?
you don't think I would have understood it a different way?
No, I don't. You know the Mississippi River?
Yeah.
How it runs like
MISSIS.
yeah, how it runs like the entire length of the
Yep.
country.
Yep.
Who owns the rights to that river?
Lewis and Clark.
I do.
Well,
I say I do.
It's if
It's a bunch of states then put together.
yeah.
So it's like
Nobody really owns it.
it's
Exactly,
so then
yeah.
it would be like a trust. That's not the right word, but like
It reminds me of Decentraland. Like nobody owns it.
Yeah, no one does own it, but
Decentra
if
River.
you get, say, like someone that in the middle of it, let's say, I don't know, right next to St. Louis, they decide to build a dam.
God damn.
Like, so those states below that don't get any water. But the thing is, the situation on the Colorado River is that it's at like every year there's less and less water in the river.
Because
they're
because
siphoning the water.
I heard because so for this I heard it was because
it doesn't rain.
they didn't predict it properly or something like that. Like they did these assessments in the 70s or something or the
Yeah.
80s when it was like a high rain and then
Yeah.
it was just like an overestimation of the reality.
Oh, I did hear that too, actually.
Yeah, no, that's right. But you also have, I mean, like LA gets water from this place too, and I don't know how many people live in LA, but like
Shitload.
yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest city. They all rely on this one place for water. So
Wait, the Colorado River supplies LA?
pretty sure, yeah. I
Holy
think that's one of
fuck.
the spots. But like, all right, if you want to see like a good example of where people go crazy, just look up like, just Google water wars in like Central Asia. So these little countries you probably never heard of, not little, but these countries never heard of, they don't really have water. So you have like literally gun battles like over like water bottles that are happening.
It's very real.
Yeah. But I mean,
Why couldn't we do that here?
why couldn't? I mean, it could.
That sounds like fun. Got to go to the range. Get my skills up.
Your Skittles up?
My Skittles. No, dude. So what? How does this situation lead to that?
You
Or
gotta be
does it?
smarter with the water for sure. But like, all right, so you could look at like some of the stuff that, like I'm pretty sure Israel does this really well, where instead of like, you know, you drive by a farm and they're just shooting water up into the area like that, that's just wasting water. Whereas if you did like a drip technology or you ran a hose with like right next to the roots underground, the water would go directly into the roots, not being shot up in the air.
Yeah.
It evaporate before it even hits the ground.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, I mean, there's a bunch of different things that you could do with that. You know, maybe not living in a desert also might help too. Like a place like Arizona, you know, with like I think Phoenix is technically in a desert.
Yeah, dude, that's the crazy thing. Like, you ever go around the country and look at some of these places and you're like, how did this place come to be? Like, how did Phoenix happen?
I think that about places down here, dude. Like swamplands. Like, how in the world is our entire communities on
Oh yeah.
this land that was mostly water?
Well, they drained a lot of this area. Like,
Yeah.
apparently, so I was reading something like in the late 1800s, some like Florida state thing said like, I don't know, 80% of all of Florida was uninhabitable, or I don't know, 60%, like a super high amount. And then I think the Army Corps engineers drained out a bunch of the Everglades in the 50s or something like that.
Well, what they did was they diked Lake Okeechobee.
Hey, excuse me?
They built dikes around Lake Okeechobee.
Okay.
So what Lake Okeechobee would do, and when it overflowed, it was called a watershed. So all that water would flow south and then drain into the Everglades. Well, when they built the dikes around it, that stopped the flow. That's why you have these crazy algae blooms that we get, because they built canals that connect to where we are.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
All this information that you know, do you search out for it, or do you like see something? You're like,
I have conversations with a lot of people, and if I'm really interested in a topic, I like really focus in on it.
And you
Yeah.
just remember?
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking,
If I'm
like-
really interested in it.
Like,
But-
do you see something and you're like, I'm interested, I'm going to seek it out, or does the information come to you and you just remember everything?
No, if I don't care about it, I don't remember it at all. Like,
It was weird you forgot my name when you came in.
There you go.
if you see me in a conversation, I'm just like kind of looking off. I'm not listening at all.
Yeah.
Like just being completely honest with you. So if you ever see me out, like when we had team outings, and if I was sitting at the table and I wasn't involved in a conversation, I was kind of like looking around. I wasn't listening to anything that was being said.
So you weren't listening to me when we were all drinking 2-for-1 martinis at Bar Louie.
No, I was thinking about something else probably.
Thinking about those dollar burgers.
Okeechobee River.
Or art, but I guess this, when we had that crazy algae bloom, that is something that I looked into. I was like, what the hell is going on in this? But, wait, you guys aren't from around here, are you?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not originally.
Okay.
Been here for 10 years though, 11 years.
Okay. Well,
I've been here for a while.
when I was in middle school, this is something that they taught you.
Are you
about,
from
too.
here?
Yeah, I'm a exotic species.
Yeah, you're
So-
one of 7 people in Florida. Born and raised.
But, so FGCU, for instance, like when I was in middle school, there was just like a couple trailers there. That's like an environmental school. So like we did field trips there where you went like hiking in the swamps and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
people have told me they graduated. You guys did.
Yeah. So, but that's how you kind of learned about it. But when you had these algae blooms, you're like, why the hell is this happening? Well, also turns out
Big Sugar?
Big Sugar is everything south of Lake Okeechobee. So they're probably not going to be happy if their sugar fields get flooded with shit water, basically. But, it's okay to pump it to the shorelines where we rely on tourism and fishing for the local economy. But yeah.
well, and plus one thing I heard too is that there's 2 paths to the water. It's like here or the there's 2 paths to the water. It's here or the East Coast, and the East Coast has way more money, so then it gets pumped over here, and then we get all this algae.
I don't know about that.
What?
So like the East Coast has like a lot more. You have like Fort Lauderdale, Boca, West Palm, Miami. So you have like more financial leverage to incentivize people to send the water to the West Coast.
I mean, but
And deal
Naples
with
is over here, though.
Algae bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you think about it, like Naples doesn't necessarily get hit as hard by this stuff because it's not that it's out of the range, but it's not I don't know. It's not often that like red tide like destroys Naples. It's usually up in Fort Myers,
For sure.
Sanibel, all that stuff.
Yeah, Sanibel, I feel like gets hit hard.
That's also a lot of. I mean, it's expensive to have a place in Sanibel.
Yeah, but Sanibel's pretty small, especially
Yeah.
in comparison to Naples,
Yeah,
Fort Lauderdale, Boca, all that stuff.
but I don't know. Give Ron DeSantis another credit. He kind of seems to fix
It
that
seems like
problem a little bit.
it's getting better.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't see like every single year another thing of red tide. Like as bad as it was, I think
Yeah.
it's probably unavoidable.
that
in some
one
ways.
year, like what was that? 2017 or
There's like
2016?
dolphins
It was
showing up
real
dead. And
It was
stuff.
one of my first years down here, so it's probably I moved in 2015. I was like 17 maybe.
There was like, I mean, literally like the river was like green, like dark
There was
green.
dead sea life everywhere.
Yeah,
big stuff too.
yeah.
Like I think there was like dead dolphins and shit.
Well, you know what the fucking annoying the most annoying thing about that is though is that that's where a lot of the fish breed, like in those estuaries where they're dumping all the algae.
Yeah.
So they, you know, if they can't breed, you know, you can't have a thriving fish population. So it's
when they spawn, then their eggs stay there for a while too.
yeah,
So like that's their habitat for that time.
yeah. So it's like, I don't know. While we're eating candy, like maybe we don't need as much sugar.
True. Very true.
I disagree strongly.
Yeah.
You eat a lot of candy?
In the metaverse, you can eat all the candy you want.
Dude, next podcast, let's not even come here. Let's just log
Be in the metaverse.
through
I don't know if I'll
Decentraland.
ever be that, dude. I'll be like one of those little Facebook execs that be like, yeah, I designed the algorithm, but yeah, no one in my house is allowed to be on Facebook.
It's scary that we're gonna get so far away from each other in this. It's gonna take.
I think
feel
you're
it.
gonna get. Did you say this earlier? I think you're gonna get like two camps. You're gonna have people that are gonna go all in and spend all day there,
Yep.
and then you have some people that be like, no, I'd rather be in the real world. I'm not even gonna look into it at all.
What do you guys think? Because companies have kind of adapted, the times that we're in to some extent. You think this is kind of the next like conference call, the next Teams meetings, those types of things? You think it'll take off? Everybody gets issued an Oculus when they.
I think it'll take a little while, but I think it's probable because like my cousin, he's our age, 31-ish, somewhere in that zone. But he lives in New York City. He's a lawyer. And during COVID, he got an Oculus and he would put it on so he could have multiple screens, like multiple computer screens. So you can have like 3 screens and you can like look at your different screens within the Oculus. And I was like, you need to get the fuck out of your apartment. When was the last time you left your apartment? He's like, a couple weeks ago. I'm like, dude, that's not good. He's like, I have a picture of the Louvre here. Like, great. He's like, I also have a picture of Yankee Stadium here. I go, good. I go outside in Florida.
Well, you know what? I can't not come on here and not mention a book. *Sapiens* is a good book
By Noah Yuval Harari.
Yeah. Write that down, Matt. You
Write
can
that down.
Oh, I actually have it. It's out of the library right now for checkout. But
Yeah.
next time.
Well, what
when
I'll
I get
do is
back,
I'll do an exchange. Probably
Yeah.
give me 2 weeks on the Stoic
yeah,
book, and
Chris
then I'll
is about to
exchange
get
it.
freaking late fees for his.
Yeah.
His book.
You
I
had that
know.
little bonfire out back for Lana's birth, right? You used the books as kindling.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Anti-intellectualism at its finest.
But hold on, let me finish
yeah.
my point really fast though. On that, so on the *Sapiens* thing, he kind of talks about, from like a biological perspective.
Dude, you guys are talking shit about me, and Chris over here.
No,
munching.
he's not munching into the mic like you though. He's got manners.
Sorry.
But like, from like an evolution standpoint, like you're not any different than, an ancestor 5,000 years ago.
Yeah,
I
So it's-
strongly agree with that.
So it's
I'm pretty primal.
you put that into like an augmented reality or virtual reality. What does that do to like a psyche then? Or
Oh, it's gonna tear you up.
yeah, I don't know. But it's also like, even right now you're seeing it with some of these social media platforms. Like,
Here's the thing, though, dude. What? If somebody were to believe in evolution, what?
if someone were to believe
Sit
in
down.
evolution.
Well, no, I think I said that wrong. So if you,
I didn't even think about it. You said that. So if Jesus didn't make that earth,
so what I'm saying is, so like if you think about that, and if we've evolved over time, maybe this is like that next step where, humans are amazing at adapting to their environment.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But if you put this in front of us, it's going to be tough on the psyche. But over time, this might be the real world. What is that movie?
Ready Player One.
Not Ready Player One.
I think it's called Ready Player One.
No, it's not. The dude that kind of looks like Tom Cruise. It's not Tom Cruise. Terry Crews is in it. He's the president. It's an older.
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy, and they're like, everything's digital. They're inside their house. They're only on the TV. Like, that's what it's going to go to.
But
I feel that will happen.
So maybe. I mean, who knows?
No, it's going to happen.
I do also think, though, too, that I think the reason why you're starting to see a lot of mental health issues or people claiming they have mental health issues is because of some of the social media stuff. Because now it's like
100%. I agree.
It's like
that's why we need to support Liver King. That's why we need Liver King as president.
Dude, Liver King is the man.
Do you know about Liver King?
no. What's a Liver King?
No. It's not
the
Liver King. The Liver King.
He definitely wouldn't approve of what we're doing right now with the Skittles and
It's a human.
yeah. This dude.
Oh yeah, dude. Let me pull this up for you.
This dude, it's pretty interesting.
Good morning, Primals.
Yeah. So you know what grounding is? You put your bare feet on the ground.
Oh, yeah,
There's like
yeah.
a negative energy, the ion, something that.
I don't get into that new age stuff.
This isn't new age. This is like you were talking about your ancestors 5,000 years ago. This is like he brings everything back to your ancestors, how you should live, how you should eat, the way you should interact with your family, get away from technology.
Yeah, I think that you need a cleanse sometimes, like of no phone, no anything like that.
You know what I feel the worst? Is like after a long weekend of me just like binge eating crap food and like staring at the TV.
That's when you feel the worst?
I feel like at the end of the weekend, I'm like, oh man, I feel like my brain is mush. I don't feel like I have energy. But like if I stay busy all weekend and I'm outside and I'm doing stuff and I'm working, like that's when I feel better doing that.
I think though that a lot of people don't know how to be by themselves.
Yeah.
It's him.
Oh, I've seen this guy.
Here, let me find you a better one.
I saw him doing something. The one I saw of him where he was.
He's like eating a bunch of shit.
He was
Let me see this.
in the rain carrying like 315 or something.
Oh,
like just
that was
walking.
a video of me.
No, I've seen you work out.
Yeah, stop it. I don't think it's a thing. I think you're right though. People do have a hard time being alone. I don't understand that because I like doing that, but I think it's being around the wrong things when you're alone.
But also, yeah, exactly. So like when I say like being alone, like no phone, no TV, no nothing, where you just kind of sit there and like
be with yourself.
Yeah,
be with your thoughts.
Like
people don't do that anymore, dude.
No, they don't. And it's also like, I think that's when you get like those moments of clarity in a little bit or some self-reflection or like you do have that conversation with yourself. Like in that book right there, a lot of her stuff is ask yourself these questions. When are you going to have the time if you're scrolling through your phone or, responding to every single email that comes through? Like, I think people struggle with that, and unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that we have today rewards like narcissistic behavior in a way, and that's why people I think do have mental health issues, is because they don't get enough likes, they don't like how they look, or someone says something like trolls them or what have you.
I just saw today, of course, on social media, Ed Sheeran said something that's kind of cool. He said that like when he goes on, the way he uses social media is to promote himself, right?
Yeah.
He puts his music up there or whatever. He's like, you'll never catch me taking a selfie, because he's like, I feel that people that take selfies, it's like a serious problem. The only reason that you're taking a picture of yourself and then posting it online is to get the likes, because somewhere deep inside you know that you're having a bad day. You know that you want to be loved. You want people to like what you're doing, what you're about. And I was like, I guess that there's some truth to that.
Yeah, I think weirdly, I think like to me, social media should be about communicating and connecting with people and talking about stuff. Like if that's how you're going to use it, but when it morphs into like, I don't know, I just have the Instagram for the books now.
Yeah.
But like I remember like Facebook, it was just all about, I felt like all I saw was just ads.
What's your book Instagram?
Oh, that's my personal one too, man.
Let's talk about it.
What?
What's it called?
Oh, that's MJ Prater 22. It's very private though.
Oh, not anymore.
I have stuff set up in
Everyone
private.
follow.
Blowing up now.
But no, I just recommend books. But honestly, like that's the only time I do have a lot of people that message me about them to talk to me about books and things like that.
Where do you find the time to actually read books and like set aside that time?
It depends on what I'm reading. So if I'm reading a book that is for work purposes, or reading something for work or doing research on a topic, like during the workday, if I have a meeting, like a client meeting that cancels, instead of that half hour of checking my email or, doing that, because that kills time and I feel like I'm not productive, I'll read for a half hour that workbook. But, I try to, I take a lunch break, so I'll read on my lunch break. And then, you just make time for it. Like I don't really watch, TV or shows or things like that. So, if I do, it's like one show at a time in a way, or it's like one day a week. I like Great British Baking Show. So that's on Fridays. It's hour long. So I do that for an hour, but, I probably read like 2 hours a day.
Holy shit. That's a lot.
But the thing is though, is like, if you have to cancel out the distractions and what have you, so that you're focused on that one task. But if you think about it, it's not really a lot. I mean, it's different. You guys have kids and what have you, but like, work, the gym, and then from say 6 to when I go to bed, like say at 11 o'clock at night, that's 5 hours. I don't want to spend 5 hours watching TV.
Yeah, that's fair. I just feel like I don't know. I just try to jam pack my life full of shit. I just feel like I go so many different directions that I don't know. I spin myself into a cycle of not getting things done. But that's actually something that I kind of picked up from a couple of these like business coaches that I've talked to. Not even like, I don't have a business coach, but I interviewed a guy on my podcast and he talked about tiny habits. It's not atomic habits, but it's like tiny habits, but like setting up your day and having like these things structured and like planning things out actually helps mitigate a lot of that. And I've noticed that it does that for me.
The thing is with that though, is you have to be focused on that, what you set out to do though.
Yeah.
So if you like for me, some people when I tell people at work, like my processes and like how I do my day, they're like, what's wrong with you? Like the first hour of the day, on my calendar will say like emails. Like that's the only time I want to look at my email in the morning. And then the last half hour will be emails again. I might like look at it, make sure nothing's like super urgent, but
is that like the deep work that we talked about?
Yeah. That's kind of how I started structuring that. But and then I have all my notifications turned off for like, messages, like internal messages, the emails. So I actually have to make a conscious effort to go check my emails, or to check my pings or my internal messages on stuff, because that way, like if I'm talking to a client, I don't have these little notifications come up on my screen that, okay, wait, what did you just say again? Can you repeat that? It's focusing on that one task. And then same thing goes with reading. If you said, okay, I'm going to read 30 minutes a day, put your phone in another room, go, like sometimes that helps me is like in my community, like my clubhouse is pretty empty at certain times in the day. I'll take a walk and not have my phone, and I'll read there for 30 minutes. And then I'll walk back, get some fresh air, get out of the house, and boom, back to work.
Is that because your girlfriend crashed your car?
I already told that story. I'm not telling it again.
It's old news.
Can't even find a car. I've been reaching out to Matt every day.
He's not helping.
I can help you out, buddy.
Motherfucker.
I can't afford it. Metaverse has all my money.
Dude, just buy one in the metaverse, bro.
Yeah, dude, buy a car and
You got $300 to buy an Oculus.
I was listening to
about
a guy.
$5,700.
I was listening to a guy, and that was one of his selling points for the metaverse was that if everyone bought a car in the metaverse, global emissions would go down 99%. And I was like,
dude,
well, how are you going to get food?
It's not about food.
Metaversal food.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, it's strange. I do think that we are still the same exact things that we've been for thousands of years. I know I've realized that when I was in Utah one time doing certain things, and I was like looking up at the.
Well, even if you take like I know we've talked like philosophy and stuff a bunch of times. If you take some of the stuff that say Seneca wrote or Plato or Socrates,
Yeah,
some of the wisdom that they have, like that stuff, the ideas that they wrote down, you're like,
it's all relevant.
well, shit, this is really smart. So it's like, okay, these guys didn't have anything like a computer or anything close to it. Like, they had their thoughts. That's it. On things, and it's. Imagine
pretty much the same.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of like makes you wonder, like, I mean, with some of these technologies, again, like, what is is it a tool or a crutch?
Crutch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends on who you ask, I think.
And it depends how you use it too.
Yeah.
Like I'm realizing that with like social media and stuff like that, and trying to grow the show and grow my business and start making these like online courses and things like that. Like that stuff's important, and people do look on those things for actually finding real value.
Yeah.
But it's also, you do have the flip side of like desperate people or people that are shallow or people that are upset looking at that stuff like, oh, I'll never be that, blah, blah, blah. I'm just getting more depressed. It's kind of one of those things of like, it's how you use it. It's just sinister how addictive it is, and that's like an approach of it. But
do you guys think our capacity to learn stuff has gotten smaller since them, or do you think it's the same? We just focus our attention towards too much.
I think it's
same.
I think it's the same, but I think we focus our attention towards too many things. I think there's too much noise, coming at you.
That's something I battle with all the time. Like I'm kind of like you, where I'm doing a billion things at once. I texted you about us doing something else while I'm already working on 5 different things, and it's like maybe the reason I can't retain these things is because I'm bouncing off the walls.
That book actually right there, that you have, like I'm almost done with it, but she actually tells an interesting story. If you turn the clock back to like your grandfather's time, like let's say it's in the 50s, they went to work and they came home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they brought a little bit work home, but they didn't have a computer all the time.
No.
Or a phone in your pocket where you get a notification every time you get an email, every time you get a text, every time you get a call.
There's a distinction of where your day started and ended. Yeah.
Whereas
bleeds together now.
Now, if you really wanted to, which I don't recommend, you could work 24/7. Like if you really wanted to, like you could be constantly plugged in all the time.
A lot of people are, and COVID actually exacerbated that.
Yeah.
I talked to my one buddy at the beginning of this. He worked for a big tax company up in Boston. I was like, how is this? He's like, it's a fucking nightmare, dude. Like literally the day doesn't end. Like I'm still expected to get calls at 9:30 from my boss, answer them, still be doing work. There is no off time. You are working 24/7.
Yeah, and I think that's, I'm not one of those people like that though, because I set up boundaries on myself, and I'll sacrifice a little bit of productivity to hit the ground running like again tomorrow and not be completely miserable where I have a mental breakdown. Like I think that's where like some people get confused, but you have a guy like that who's busting his ass and working like 15-hour days all throughout COVID. And then, firm reports record numbers and go to just circle it back to the beginning of the story.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, we can't give you a pay increase. But hey, don't let productivity go down. Your goals are now what you accomplished last year. And it's like, shit, I'm not going to be able to do that again.
Dude, I had a boss, the last place that I was at, that this wasn't the person that was running it when I left. This person ended up getting fired like very shortly after, but they were like, okay, well, we're going to redo the commission structure. It was like, okay, I'm not going to be like super anti-change or anything. What is the deal? And it was presented that the numbers literally didn't equal 100%. Like when you added everything on the spreadsheet, like nothing added up. It was basically, now we need you to do like there's like multi-year deals. I think company-wide, we did like 2 out of like hundreds of sales. They're like, yep, this year, next year, your commissions based on 40% of your deals need to be those. I was like, well, that's not going to happen. Like, yeah, but we need to push for it. It's like, but that's not like, that is not how things are set up. And then it was like, well, you need to hit this stuff and we're also going to pay you 40% less. So it was like, you can either take a cut here or you can, keep this in place, but we'll cut your salary. And it was like, I was like, so you're literally telling me that you want me to increase my sales by 40%, but you want to pay me like 30% less. And then they were like, yeah, of course. I was like, what? Like, how are you telling me this with a straight face? Like, how does this make sense? And they're like, well, that's how we did it at X big company, CRM company. It's like, okay, but we're not that. Like, it's like, what the fuck?
You have to have incentive structures, but they also have to make sense because, like,
Attainable.
well, they have to be attainable, but they also have to be like, let's be real. Like, I remember my first job out of college. Like, I didn't know what I was getting into, but it was like an entry-level sales job, and I had capped commissions. Well,
Okay.
I would exceed my goal like all the time in hopes of getting promoted, but promotions never came. And there's a whole lot of reasons behind that. Like I basically got effed over on one of them because my daddy wasn't the VP at one of our biggest clients. So like, it was literally like, I remember sitting down across from my boss and I was like, does he do a better job than me? No. Does he have better potential than me? No. And I was like, then what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
And then, so when I at that point, I was like, I need to find another job. I'm quitting. Well, as soon as I hit my mark for my capped commission, I hit my sales numbers. I hit it in like, so from like, I forget what month it was. And like day 8 of the month, I stopped. I didn't stop working. I just sat at my desk for the rest of the month. And they're like, what are you doing? I said, I hit my goal already. Like, well, what do you mean you have to keep making sales? And I said, I'm not getting paid for them. Why should I?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's
How
reasonable.
could you?
They're like, we need to have a talk. And I said, yeah, we do. Actually, consider this my 2-week notice.
That's awesome. Yeah, you fucking idiot. Like,
But then I remember, I'll never forget this guy. He said, what, you don't want to make money? I said, I'm not making any money.
yeah. You don't want to pay me?
What a genius.
I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Like, it's just like, I think people are slowly waking up to, like, you can't constantly sell someone like some bullshit and then expect them to put up with it forever, you know, and then, don't be surprised when you have all these people changing jobs. I mean, what's crazy about it is, like, from a capitalist perspective, this is actually how it's kind of supposed to work, where the labor kind of dictates their pay in a way.
Yeah.
But it's also funny because you have the people at the top, bitching about it when 90% of all the wealth the last 40 years has gone to the top
but
1%.
But like you said, they're not capitalist. It's not capitalism that you're seeing. It's like crony capitalism, which isn't really how that stuff works. I feel like the Great Resignation stuff is more how it works. Is like, yo, I'm not going to be part of this. Like, I'm going to go figure out how to make stuff on my own. Like, that's how I view it.
Well, I think
there's
also,
a bunch of stuff to it, but
I think with a lot of things too, like, I think part of it is that people don't want to do the shit jobs anymore because it's not worth it to work at McDonald's for $7 an hour. So that's why you have them paying like what we think is probably ridiculous, but it also makes you wonder, like, how low are other people getting paid? Like, should teachers only get paid, say, like, I don't know how much they get paid, but let's say they only make $50K a year. Okay. Clearly that's a very important job, as we've seen with all the school shit that happened the last 2 years. Like, okay, maybe we should make it so that teachers don't have to worry about paying bills. Like, make enough money, like, to do that.
tons of teachers are bailing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because why would you want to do that job?
Dude, I could not imagine being a teacher right now, having to deal with, like, no matter what you do, you're the devil. Like,
Yeah.
all right, I got to go to this school, and the parents are either going to yell at me because people are wearing masks or because people aren't wearing masks.
Well, dude, on top of it, I feel like, yes, it's a very important job. And I think that when you're trained for that role and you study to do that and teach other people, you should be able to make some decisions yourself on how you teach your curriculum.
Well, and everything's still like these tests. And
now it's like, hey, and I just know because I've talked to my brother about this a little bit, and I've heard some other things, and it just seems that you're handed this stuff, and this is how it is. Okay, you get here at 7:30, you leave at 2:40, and then that's your day. This is what you have to teach them. This is how you have to teach them. Just
fucking piece of shit.
But like, but at the top though, I think like the people that are working from home, like the white collar jobs,
Yeah.
they like the freedom, I think. So now you have say like, giant Fortune 50 company says, hey, actually you need to come in 5 days a week. Well, the office in Boston or whatever, and they said, hey, actually I relocated to I don't know,
Idaho.
LaBelle, Florida, middle of nowhere. Like,
Why?
what the fuck is LaBelle? Like, it's like, I actually wanted to have 10 acres and I'm having a little farm on my
and a mule.
Yeah. And it's like I'll work for you, but I'm gonna work down here. Oh no, we can't allow that. Okay, then I'm just gonna quit. So it's like, I think it's like a very weird dynamic. So I think that there are people that like the freedom of the remote work to do that, what they want to do, like, versus the office setting. And then you have the people at the bottom of the rung, like, good for them. Get more money.
Yeah.
Like, I don't blame you. It does screw, I would say the small business owners, I will say, are in a tough pinch though.
Yeah.
Because it does make a difference if you have 5 employees in your business and all 5 of them want more money.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That is a little bit tougher for them. I don't know what the right thing is with that.
Me neither.
We need to figure it out, Chris.
Yeah.
I was a small business owner.
That's your homework for the
All right.
for the night.
Fair enough. I think my primary homework's going to be keeping this baby alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Catching some Z's,
And
dude.
finish those books, man.
I know. I'm trying to finish this one now.
I'll be done with that one. Matt, you want my copy of that one next?
This copy of Red
I want
Cape
one
Rescue.
book at a time. So let me finish this one. I'll turn it in, and then you give me what you think I should read next.
I think I kind of want to read that deep work next.
Didn't I give that to you?
Yeah.
You know what's another thing too that you can do? This is how I kind of started my reading journey.
Yeah.
Just read one chapter a day.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I did with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just read one chapter a day.
Just ease into it. It's
Yeah.
like working out.
Yeah. And then once you kind of develop that habit, you'd be like, you know what? I want to keep reading.
Yeah.
Read it again. So Simple.
Yeah.
Life lessons for you, Matt Reed.
Thanks, Mason. I don't know what I would do without you.
I don't know.
Thanks for all the life lessons, Mason.
I'm going to break that thing.
Why? You don't like it?
No.
Why?
So what if you hit voice setting?
Then it just goes into like the different like processing stuff on it.
Is this the oh, it is.
Oh, I wanted to play this. For you guys. We did have, a listener call in from Pod Inbox.
Chris,
so we got a little bit.
Is this you?
No, this is not.
Okay.
This is not me just pretending that, left it. So we have Bill Craig, Billy Craig,
Billy
left
boy.
a message on Pod Inbox for us. So let's play this for everyone.
Hey, Rick, longtime fan calling in. Just wanted to ask you a quick question here. Where did you get the mental fortitude to not want to murder your two sons?
Rick's your dad,
someone
right?
who's met both of them, I mean, I don't know how you didn't do it years ago.
I like
if
Rick.
it was me, I mean, they would be dead by now. They're the worst. And I don't know. You deserve a medal or a lot of money. I don't know, for just making it through all this time with them. So that's probably the only question I have for you. Keep on keeping on.
Hey, I got an answer to the question, Bill.
Bill's
I
not
think
wrong.
I think we just realized that we at least eliminated one person from being possibly the godfather of my baby with this message. You fucking asshole! You fucking piece of shit.
I was hoping he was going to be, hey, long-time listener, first-time caller.
We need more people to Podbox.
Yeah.
What is it? Pod Inbox?
Podinbox.com/China
/China.
Chine on.
The name of the podcast, Mason.
I don't know.
It's China, okay? It's going to be tremendous.
It's China, okay? Hey,
Fucking China.
you know what we should do is maybe the next podcast preemptively send out what we're going to talk about and then ask people if they have any thoughts or things.
Nah, man, I just rant. I talk about some
I know,
random
but
stuff.
we can rant, but still, it would let people send some inbox stuff.
I covered Civil War, politics, water,
Honestly, dude, I stopped
China,
listening after the Civil War.
metaverse,
Decentraland. Books.
books, more books.
Oh, you said Sapiens was your book recommendation, right?
Oh, Sapiens is a 10 out of 10, man.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
We got to sell
10
out
out
10.
of 10.
Don't read that book when you're sleepy though, because the one
It's a lot.
if you borrow it from me, it's a hardcover and the thing weighs like 15 pounds probably.
Knock you out.
Yeah, it's like thick paper.
Do you guys want to go splitsies on a plot or a parcel of land?
In Decentraland?
Yeah.
Nah, man, I don't buy Decentraland. I'm only metaverse. It's like Apple versus Google, like on the phones.
No,
Like
well, that's
Apple versus Android. You
So
one or the other.
Listen, dude, Decentraland came out in 2015, so there's a bunch of different metaverses. Like RuneScape is probably considered a metaverse. Minecraft, probably a metaverse.
don't
There's
know.
like certain criteria
Where'd
it
you
has
get that
to fall
from, dude?
into.
CNN.
No, I don't watch the news.
Fucking lib.
Don't shoot that stuff to me.
Well, ooh, I like that.
That is very nice. All right, let's all ride off into the sunset together. And
Let's see what this is.
no, I like that. Ooh. Welcome to the Smooth Jazz
Oh, you need
Hour.
to have your little intro song on there.
I'll figure it out.
So
It kind of makes it a little bit more difficult for the
So when you
video
end
editing.
it, you play it, but we're still talking, and the person's talking, and you're really like, yeah, hey, yeah, it didn't really like,
asshole.
don't ever come back. I like that.
That's cool.
So did you load these in, or
Yeah.
oh, yeah, you gotta load your theme song in.
Tending. I like these smooth jams.
was pretty good.
Yeah, it was neat.
And we'll end it with that.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Oh man, my ears, my poor little ears.
Get me.